Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the dedication of the Oliver Partnership School, a celebration of the success that labor and management can achieve when they work together. On Superintendent Riley, President Weingarten, Congressman Tierney, Mayor Lantigua, we welcome you all today, and I'm going to try to get through a very long list of important partners. But the most important partners here today, because you're going to hear about partners and partnership, the most important partners in the whole building are the ones sitting right up front here wearing white t-shirts that say, "I am the promise." All right, now let me get through the list of honored guests that we have here today. First, I'm going to introduce members of the school department. Assistant Superintendent Mary Lou Bergeron. Chief Redesign Officer Seth Racine. Deputy Redesign Officer Julie Albino. Chief of Staff, Shala Marquiles. This next gentleman is our Director of Facilities, Chris Merlino. We're trying to decide whether or not we're going to send him to medical school to study plastic surgery or to the Vatican, because the facelift you gave this place is miraculous. On my left, Mara Banter, representing Commissioner Mitchell-Chester, is the chairwoman of the Board of Elementary and Secondary Education. Linda Forsey, Senior Associate Commissioner for the Department of Elementary and Secondary Education. Representative Frank Moran. Members of our school committee, Pat Mariano. The next two gentlemen, in addition to serving on the school committee, Pavel Payano as the vice chair and Jim Blatchford, also served as part of our emergency paint crew that came in and painted on a weekend. Thank you. And school committeeman Frank Cirillo. June Black is here representing Congresswoman Nikki Songers's office. Mayor William Lantigua. Representative Diane DeZoglio. President of AFT Massachusetts, Tom Gosnell. Congressman Tierney. And down in the front row, people who I have spent many, many, many hours with for the last 8 months as we've tried to plan and put this school together. The Transitional Partnership Council, Assistant Superintendent Dale Lipkin, Chief Operations Officer Anne-Marie Stronach, from AFT Massachusetts, Dan Murphy. AFT Deputy Director for the Northeast Region, Barbara Palazzo. And 3 Oliver School teachers, Shauna Hamilton, Jamie Riley, and Maureen Santiago. And now I'm going to turn it over to Lawrence Teachers Union President Frank McLaughlin.
Good morning. Good morning, kids. It's the first day of school. All right, what's missing? Well, school should be a good time, and this is a good school. And there are a lot of friends here that want to help you not only have a good time, but get a great education. And we're here with you. So welcome, everybody. My name is Frank McLaughlin, and I'm the president of the Lawrence Teachers Union. And you know what? I couldn't sleep last night. I was up, and what I did was, and I think it's here, is I wrote this little speech. And if you would allow me to read my composition, I will. So, my name is Frank McLaughlin, and I'm the president of the Lawrence Teachers Union, Local 1019. And I'm very honored to be in attendance at this event this morning. We are fortunate to be surrounded by so many people who have come to be with us this wonderful morning and to share with us the promise. Now, what is the promise? The promise is the Henry K. Oliver Partnership School. And the Oliver Partnership School is a new collaboration involving teachers, staff, families, and administrators to improve student learning in a long, struggling gateway city school district. The Oliver Partnership will give every student an educational opportunity by providing them with extended learning time, academic enrichment services and activities, health services. The school is a joint effort of the Lawrence Teachers Union, the American Federation of Teachers, and the Lawrence Public Schools. And all of you, a variety of service providers and friends that will help us go forward. Now, we have taken the lead in developing an innovative and collaborative model of education reform, a labor management community school that will provide students and their families with many services beyond basic instruction in order to help close the achievement gap and allow students to succeed both in and out of school. Now, you children know I used a lot of big vocabulary words, and I will pass this composition in, and maybe your teacher can go over some of these words with you to help you. But basically, we gather here in this immigrant city, in this union city, this city of bread and roses, to dedicate the Henry K. Oliver School Partnership School and its promise. Now, when we leave here, let's all dedicate ourselves to reclaim the promise of public education, not only in this Oliver Partnership School, but in our city, our Commonwealth, and our nation. Thank you so very much. Honorable Mayor Antigua, Honorable John Tierney, Superintendent Jeff Riley, welcome. Before I begin, I do want to acknowledge the absence of Congresswoman Nikki Tsongas, our Congresswoman. Nikki has sent a representative from her office. Her name is June Black. And what she's going to do right now is she's going to present to this school a flag. That's what's missing, kids. A flag that flew over the United States Capitol. June? Now I would like everybody to stand. And June is going to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Since we don't have the flag set up yet, okay, I'm going to tell you something that I learned in Boy Scouts. If you don't have a flag when you say the Pledge of Allegiance, what you want to do is you want to face north. And north is looking at me.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Very good job. Thank you. Yes. Unfortunately, the Congresswoman couldn't be here, as Frank noted, but she wanted to send this flag that flew over the Capitol building of the United States, where our federal laws are all made. And in addition, we have a few books, how our laws are made, how to revere the flag, how a flag should be flown under different circumstances, and we are giving them to the Oliver School for your library. Thank you.
Okay, I want to tell you something about our next speaker, Congressman John F. Tierney. Having been recently reelected to his 9th term representing the Massachusetts 6th District, United States Representative John F. Tierney has developed a national reputation as an effective legislator fighting for families, seniors, and small businesses. The Congressman remains the only member from Massachusetts serving on the Committee on Education and the Workforce. He serves on the Subcommittee on Higher Education, Workforce Training, and the Subcommittee on Health, Employment, Labor, and Pensions in the 113th Congress. A strong voice fighting for a vibrant middle class, and he's working to create opportunity for all. Congressman Tierney has been an active leader on education and labor issues. His hard-working commitment to ensuring the legislative branch conducts vigorous oversight have earned Tierney the chairmanship of the National Security and Foreign Affairs Subcommittee on the Committee on Oversight and Government Reform from 2007 to 2010. Chairman Tierney undertook a variety of investigations to ensure that the United States policy utilizes all aspects of our national power and maximizes our long-term national security interests. That taxpayers' money is not being wasted, and that we leave our children and grandchildren in a safer place to live. Born in Salem, Massachusetts, Congressman Tierney attended Salem Public Schools and graduated from Salem State College and earned a law degree from Suffolk University until he took office in January 1997. He was a partner in the law firm of Tierney, Callis, and Lucas for over 20 years. He and his wife, Patrice, continue to make Salem their home. Let's have a warm welcome for Congressman Tierney.
Thank you. Thank you, Frank. I think the introduction was longer than the remarks are going to be, but I do appreciate the comments on that, and I particularly appreciate your invitation to join you here this morning. I will recognize by name all of my colleagues that are up on the stage, but that would take up another 5 to 10 minutes, and the job was ably done, so thank you for that. But Mayor, I do want to say thank you for letting me come in without a visa on the area on that, and I note that Mr. Oliver was the mayor of Salem, Massachusetts at one time before coming here to Lawrence, so there is that connection between our communities. I am, as it was mentioned, the only member of Massachusetts delegation that's on the Education and Workforce Committee, and only one of 2 New England members of the delegation. But I see the importance, as all of you do, in education and what it means to keeping our community's strength and our state and federal government strong as well. We have a challenge here, and I think it's interesting that we note that we spend a lot of time complaining about education, whether it's in Lawrence or in Massachusetts or in the United States of America, and we forget that we have been the leaders in education throughout the world. And the fact that other developing nations are also getting better at what they do just presents to us a challenge to not accept the status quo and to make sure that we continually improve, just as the mission here with this cooperative effort has been to continuously improve how we deliver education to our families and our children. I think it's remarkable what you've done. I'm particularly pleased to be here with all of my friends from labor, in particular Randy, who has been a national leader on this issue and somebody that has cut the divide between people who don't like unions and people who champion unions to get the notion down that all of us have to participate in this and that all of us have to be leaders. And she has taken that lead, and the AFT has taken the lead to make sure that we look at ways to improve education from every facet and then join partnerships with everyone. You know, there's a responsibility here that can't be set on parents, can't be set on educators, can't be set on business community alone. This is going to take, as you've noticed now and you've moved forward in recognizing, a partnership where everybody buys in and everybody understands that this is the only way it's going to work. We spend a lot of time on the Education Secondary Act in the federal government, and we have a notion. The federal government, however, is a small player in this in terms of resources. Our biggest challenge is always striking the balance between giving local communities the flexibility to do what needs to be done to educate children and having the accountability so we can share with the taxpayers that the ends are really being met. As we try to give more flexibility to the local communities, it's important that we should do that in the context of finding those communities that will cooperate with one another, that will entrust the educators with the responsibilities that they have earned through their education and through their experience, and they in turn will recognize the investment of the parents and the community writ large and work together to get things done. I'm very encouraged by what I see has been done here at the Oliver School, how everybody participated, spent an entire spring into summer, now into fall, working together and moving this in the right direction. I am going to continue to follow this. I think it'll be a model for some of the work that we do in the ESEA Act as we go forward. I wish you all the very, very best of luck, and thank you for taking on this challenge. Thank you.
At this time, what I'd like to do is I'd like to introduce the superintendent receiver of the Lawrence Public Schools. And what I did was I read his bio last night. I didn't copy it. I think I know him pretty well. What I do know about Jeff Riley is that we're on the same page when it comes to wanting the best for the children of Lawrence. I think we share the same vision. You know, the measure of a man is the way he treats his own children. And I've had the opportunity to meet Jeff and his children and the way he interacts with them. And you can see that feeling for all children in this city. Jeff comes to us from the Boston Public Schools, where he served as a deputy superintendent. He was the principal of the Edwards School in Charlestown, where he put together a national model in collaborative education. He's in his second year as the receiver in the city of Lawrence, and he has worked very, very hard with the union to improve the situation in the city and the Lawrence Public Schools. I really enjoy working with him. Jeff Riley.
So for the next 45 minutes, I'd like to go over the rules and regulations of the Lawrence Public Schools. Instead, maybe I'll tell you a story. When I used to be in Boston, I heard a story about a school, and there was a child who was pretty sick and had to have surgery on her brain. And when they did that surgery, they had to shave all her hair off. And the surgery went well, and she was fine, and she had to go back to school. And she was very nervous about it. She was only in 4th or 5th grade. And she was very nervous about going back to school. And her parents got her a bandana to wrap around her head. And when she went into school that day, she was just so afraid and so nervous. And this teacher walked into the classroom on the first day when she came back and had a bandana on. And when she unwrapped her bandana, the teacher had shaved all her hair off. 3 days later, at the insistence of all the children, they also shaved their heads off because they decided as a class that they were going to do it together. Now, I'm not asking you to shave your head off. I, of course, have done so. But I think what that teacher started was about an idea about doing things together. We need to do this together. I was honored when I asked the Lawrence Public Schools to take over the Oliver School and to create a partnership school, because we need to work together to do it. It's got to be teachers, parents, the central office, the union, our political leaders, everyone, because the only thing that matters are the children sitting before you. That's really all that matters. There's a lot of rhetoric about charter schools and union. I promise you I don't care. I just want good public schools for our kids. And I think we are in a place where we can figure out how to do that. I have never been more proud of the faculty we have here in Lawrence and the teachers and what they bring. And I'm honored today to introduce and provide a plaque to Ms. Nancy Parchuki and Sarah Lynch for the opening of the LTU Partnership School. Now, the actual official ceremony is outside when we're going to cut the ribbon with the giant scissors. And I think we should involve one of our students to help us with the giant scissors, preferably the one that doesn't run with the scissors. We'll ask the teacher to pick someone out in a minute. I love the beginning of the school year. What a great time to start over and get things done. A lot of people have put in a lot of work to make this school what it is today. This school was falling apart last year. This school had ceilings that literally were falling down, floors that were ruined, windows that were broken, graffiti everywhere. This school has been reborn today by the amazing work by the facilities people, the teachers, the union, the community. So many people pitched in, and I couldn't be more honored to be here to open it today. What a metaphor for our city this is. Thank you very much. My wife will tell you that sometimes I'm a hard person to get along with, and I don't always agree with everyone, and I think the union will tell you that as well. I don't always agree with the Lawrence Teachers Union, but I've never once doubted their dedication to our children. And so it's been an honor for me to work with Frank and his team, and it's an honor for me to introduce to you the president of the national AFT, Randy Weingarten. Randy is on the cutting edge of education reform in America. Her and I had a talk before we came, and I think we believe in the same things. We believe in great teaching and learning. That's about test scores. We think that's important. We believe also, however, in the arts, in enrichment, in sports, in theater, in dancing, that kids get an amazing, well-rounded experience, the same experience that suburban kids take for granted that our kids always don't have access to. And the last thing we agree on is that we need to teach our kids the value of grit and perseverance, pushing through and not giving up. This school district, when I came, was down. Many people said it couldn't be fixed. But when I came here, I saw great people everywhere I went. And I promise you, this school district can be fixed. We have great people that are going to get it done. This is our opening salvo in that moment. Have a wonderful day. Ladies and gentlemen, Randy Weingarten.
Bless you, someone who knows that I am short. So, as Frank was speaking, as your superintendent was speaking, as your congressman was speaking, and as your assistant to a congresswoman was speaking, we were joined by the labor commissioner of the whole state of Massachusetts. And I was thinking, I do have a little speech here, but I was thinking about my kids and my first day of teaching. And my first day of teaching, I wasn't good enough to teach kids your age. I taught older kids. I taught 11th and 12th graders. And maybe just like Congressman Tierney, I do actually need a visa because I come from New York City. But I did get a visa, thank you very much, Frank. And my kids in New York City taught me a really important lesson. I was really new. And just like what Frank was saying, Mr. McLaughlin was saying, the first day of school was always a day where I was worried sick because of exactly what one of you said before. Can I make school fun? Do you want to come to school? Is it going to be an experience where you feel like, oh my God, my best days are in front of me? Or is it going to be an experience where you're bored to death? And I really worried about that. Could I connect as an adult with 11th and 12th graders? And every first day of school for me, I both had this heart rushing, and my stomach was totally and completely upset because I wanted to make it right for my kids. And my kids actually taught me a really important lesson. They said, Miss Weingarten, they never called me by my first name. God only knows what else they called me. But they would say to me when they trusted me, they said, Miss Weingarten, don't just talk your talk, walk your walk. And I've never forgotten that. Don't just talk your talk, walk your walk. And everybody who's on stage right now, and the three teachers that I also want to recognize again with the two co-leaders, Nancy and Sarah, Maureen, Shauna, and Jamie. Would you just stand up again, the three co-leaders? And would you two just stand up again? Thank you. That jitteriness, that's not just me. That wanting to make sure we connect, that wanting to make this experience the best experience in children's lives. That's why we're all in this business. That's why we all teach. That's why we, who are part of the union, try to make sure that teachers have the tools and the respect and what they need to make sure that every single day you feel like your life is ahead of you and you feel excitement and you feel like you want to be here and be nowhere else, even though it's school. And that takes a partnership because none of us can do it alone. Your parents can't do it just for you. Your teachers can't do it just for you. God bless you. You could actually sneeze alone, I guess. None of us can do it alone. But there's a lot of people who are rooting for us to fail, who are rooting for us not to have public education, who wanted the school to look like it looked last year. And that's where we've all gotten involved. Between the superintendent, the union president, all the teachers, the community that is here, we've made a bet that says that if we work together in collaboration, where all of us play our part, and you guys have to play your part too. And you know what your part is? Other than yawning, you know what your part is? You gotta work, yes. Behaving, that is fantastic, but what else? Yes. Exactly, behaving and work hard. You also have to have a little bit of fun. Will you promise you're gonna have fun? Good. Good. I only heard one person promise. Will you promise you're gonna have fun? So, your part is to work hard and to believe that we love you, and to behave as well, and to have fun. Our part is to work together as hard as we can, respecting each other, to make this experience really good for you. And that's what those shirts that you're wearing mean when it says, I am the promise. Because our part together is to make the bet that we are reclaiming the promise of public education, not as it was yesterday in Lawrence, not as it was 2 days ago or 5 days ago, but what it should be so that all kids get a well-rounded education, so that you guys can be anything you want to be, whether it's President of the United States, whether it's a congressman, whether it's a mayor, whether it's a sports player, whether it's a musician. But we can't do it alone either. And that's why all of us are up on the stage together, making the promise to reclaim the promise of public education. And that's why we at the AFT, the National Union, have worked really hard to say 5 things. Number 1, we're going to try to do everything we can to walk our walk to make this place a welcoming and safe environment. Number 2, we're going to work really hard, the management and the labor, to make sure that teachers are respected and get the time and the support they need to do the job we're asked to do. Number 3, we're going to make sure that this is not just reading and mathematics, that there is art and music and enrichment and sports, the kind of things that we know will not only engage kids, but help teach far more than test-taking skills, because education is far more than a test. Persistence and grit matter a lot. Number 5, we're not just going to talk about instruction. We're going to have the wraparound services that we know you need, because it is ridiculous to say that poverty doesn't matter. This is a city of immigrants that understood that a good job was an opening to a good life. But we need to make sure that kids have health care and social services, and we're trying to do that as well. And last, we're trying to open this school so that it is a center of a community that has a proud and hallowed history about fighting for immigrant rights and fighting to be part of the middle class and fighting to make sure that there is dignity and respect. And so we're going to open up the school, in a way that we really bring parents in and bring the community in. Now that's a lot of talk, but the reason the Massachusetts Federation of Teachers and the AFT is here together is because we want to make these promises real. We want to make sure that when we say, you are the promise, that we are walking our walk, not just talking our talk. And that's why on this first day of school, with all of you, where I'm jittery too, we're making a commitment, all of us together, that this is going to be an example of when you work together and respect instead of vilify and demagogue the people who every single day want to make your lives count. That is the most important step to reclaiming the promise of public education and making sure that not only I walk my walk, but you guys walk your walk at graduation. Thank you very, very much.
At this time, I'd like to ask Representative DiZoglio to come up. Ms. Parchuk-Salak, Ms. Lynch.
Thank you. And I would like to invite my very esteemed colleague, Representative Frank Moran, up to the microphone. Representative Moran actually graduated from the Oliver School, I hear, so I believe he might want to say a few words.
Oh, sure. I want to thank actually the superintendent for all the job you have done. I think a lot of us, especially myself, I'm here to support everything that you plan for the Lawrence Public School system. I think you said it very clear. It's all about the children's here. I have a lot of great memories here in the city of Lawrence, especially here in this school. I remember this gym. I used to play dodgeball here, so that was fun. My second priority was what time was recess. So that was my other one. I was always anxious to see when the bell was in the ring so we could go to recess. But as a Laurentian, as a Lawrence resident that grew up here in this community, look at myself, look at Pabel, look at Jimmy, look at Francisco. Who else is here? These are kids that grew up in the public school system here in the city of Lawrence. You can do anything you can if you put your mind to it. A little effort goes a long way. Today, I graduated from this school not a long time ago, not too far away. Today, I stand before you as a city council president of the city of Lawrence and your state representative for the city of Lawrence. I represent a small portion of Methuen, a small portion of Lawrence. So that tells you that never give up on your dreams, set goals for yourself, and put a little effort into your class, and it'll go a long way. And I just want to say thank you to everybody here. And also, I want to thank Jimmy and Pabel for the great job in the painting.
So, once again, my name is Representative Diana DiZoglio. I'm a brand new state representative, and it is my privilege to be able to be the one to present this very special award today to our wonderful public servants here at the Oliver School. Be it hereby known to all that the Massachusetts House of Representatives offers its sincerest congratulations to the Oliver Partnership School in recognition of the dedication of the Oliver Partnership School. The entire membership extends its very best wishes and expresses the hope for future good fortune and continued success in all endeavors. Given this 21st day of August, signed by Speaker of the House of Representatives Robert A. DeLeo, Representative Devers, Representative Moran, and myself, Representative DiZoglio. Congratulations.
We're almost done. You guys are doing a real good job. The mayor gets the last word, though. So, but before I bring the mayor up, I'd just like to have Secretary of Labor, Joanne Goldstein, come up and just say hi to us. Thank you.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. I know that I'm standing between you and lunch, so I'll be very brief. I bring you greetings and congratulations from Governor Deval Patrick, who is thrilled to see what you have done here. It's the perfect partnership between union and management, between government at all of its levels, and we're looking forward to this school being a great success and all of you learning a lot and having a lot of fun. And we just wanted you to know that you have our congratulations and our support. So good luck, and we'll be following your success and progress throughout the year. Thank you.
At this time, I'd like to introduce to you for a few words in closing the Mayor of the City of Lawrence, the Honorable William Lantigua.
It's always a dangerous when you are the last one. Either people are asleep, tired, or very excited. I hope you are very excited about being here. If we were able to read all of our thoughts of each other, we will find out that a lot of what we think, a lot of our commitment, things that we would like to do, are the same in many ways. So earlier in his remarks, Superintendent Riley said he doesn't care about some things. He just cares about the education, the main goal, which is the goal of all of us here. And as you expressed when you listen to Congressman Tierney, to Congresswoman, my Congresswoman, Nikki Songa, through our friend John Black, and when you listen to the President McLaughlin, and everybody else who came before the mic, I can say with property that a lot of what you wanted to say had already been said by some of them. So that also applied to me. I won't keep you long. But when the commitment is the same, when the goal is the same, but sometimes we have different directions, the end result might not be what we all want it to be. Today, I don't know if this is the first. I do not know if this has been done elsewhere. But regardless if it is the first or not, I believe it's a great day. It's a wonderful thing. It's a wonderful partnership between labor, management, and also the community, because we are part of it. This is our community. So I want to commend President McLaughlin for not only accepting the challenge, I call it a challenge, but also for being a dedicated partner in this process. But I think I'll be very, very ungrateful, which I'm not, if I have an opportunity to be before people like you and before our students, and I don't say thank you to Commissioner Chester. He listened, the Board of Education listened, and they helped. That help would have been very difficult, if not impossible, and we would not be here today, again, if the Teachers Union and others didn't come to the plate and agree to put all our efforts together towards one common goal. I hope that when years come and go, we can look back and not only look at the Oliver and the group that we have here today, but that we can say we have many, many other schools under the same process, because I believe that under the partnership that we have today, Mr. President and others, we can go farther than where we are. And we are far today than where we were a couple of years ago. Superintendent Riley, I call him a doctor, and every time I do that, at the end of the recession, I'm reminded that, quote, he's not a doctor. He might not be a doctor on the eyes of some, he's a doctor on my eyes, because he has done open heart surgery to the Lawrence education. And I want to say thank you once again, and thank all of you for being participant, and not just for being participant, but for being dedicated. On behalf of the people that reside in my great city, the great city of Lawrence, I just want to thank all of you. To you, my friends, you've been a little bit long, you say you're having fun. It's a lot of work that went into putting the school the way you see it now. We promise you we're going to make it even better. And you will not only get a great education, but you will have some fun. You have a brand new playground right across the street on the park. You have a remodeled park. And there's a lot more good things that we're going to do to make sure that not only you have what you need, but also that as you learn, you also be developed and entertained. So again, thank you. There are many of you or some of you that perhaps have come to Lawrence for the first time, and I always say, look at the people you're meeting, look at the city we live in. It's a great city, it's a wonderful place. Don't believe what you read. Come and see us. Like Charlie said, you will love us. Thank you, and God bless you all.
In closing, I'd like to acknowledge the members of the Lawrence Teachers Executive Board, Kathy Delaney, Vice President, Jim White, Assistant Treasurer, Kim Barry, Secretary.
And I'd like to extend my gratitude and thanks to Vice President Doug Sullivan for all that he's done this summer with this project. And terrific job, Doug. Thank you so much.
At this point, I would like to invite the people up on stage to go out to the front staircase so we can proceed with the ribbon cutting ceremony.
I've done a lot of openings of schools and first days in and things like that, but the potential here and the promise here of, really amazing and thoughtful superintendent who has lots of real life experience in public schools and turning around public schools, and the commitment of the city and of our union and the hard work that's been displayed thus far. That's really reclaiming the promise of public education, so that this school is the school that parents want to send their kids to, that educators want to be at, and that most importantly, kids are really engaged and learn what they need to learn to be prepared for college, career, and life.
Excellent. And what you have any thoughts about today?
I couldn't be more excited. I think what we're seeing is the synergy that comes when everyone gets together and really focuses on what's important, which is the kids. We couldn't be happier about partnering with the AFT and the LTU today, and I think expect great things from the kids and the school.
And what are your thoughts about the upcoming school year? It's day one.
I think we have the best faculty in the Merrimack Valley, and I would argue probably in the state of Massachusetts, and we're going to take care of business.
I think it's really important that they know that we have an open door policy, that we're open to change and suggestions, and that we really want everybody to contribute.
And the Oliver Partnership School can't succeed without the entire effort of the entire community, so please come visit us, come help us out, volunteer, get your children to school on time.